చాలామంది యంగ్స్టర్స్కి, లేడీస్కి who are in different roles, managerial roles and executive roles of a lot of technology companies and from different industries. ఇవాళ ఇక్కడ ప్రోగ్రామ్ జరిగింది, లీడర్షిప్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ జరిగింది. చాలా బాగా కండక్ట్ చేశారు. ఐ థింక్ ఇట్ వాస్ a 3-week program. 2 weeks program చేశారు. So almost like 35 women have participated in this. So వాళ్ళు చాలా enthusiasticగా, passionateగా వాళ్ళు ఎదగాలని in their whatever in their careers they want to make it to the top, so they're trying to get groomed for it. They're quite committed and dedicated. ఇలాంటి లీడర్షిప్ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ మూలన ఎన్నో నేర్చుకోవటం జరుగుతుంది. అకంప్లిష్డ్ విమెన్ని, అకంప్లిష్డ్ మెన్ని అందరినీ పిలిచారు. ఎందుకంటే ఆంట్రప్రెనర్షిప్ ఇస్ ఈక్వల్ టు ఆల్, అండ్ వెదర్ ఇట్స్ మెన్ ఆర్ విమెన్, అందరి దగ్గర నేర్చుకోవాలి మనం. ప్రతి ఒక్కళ్ళ దగ్గర వాళ్ళు ఎందుకు సక్సెస్ అయ్యారు, ఏం కారణాల చేత, ఏం క్వాలిటీస్, ఎంత హార్డ్ వర్క్ చేశారు, ఎంత పట్టుదలగా పనిచేశారు, ఎంత క్రమశిక్షణతో, ఎంత బిజినెస్ డెవలప్మెంట్ అనేది ఒక ఇంటెగ్రిటీతో జరగాలి. అంటే క్వాలిటీ పరంగా కానీ, దానికి మనం నమ్మిన విధానాలని ఏమాత్రం చిన్న చిన్న వాటికే అక్కడ మనం వీక్ అవ్వకుండా చాలా స్ట్రాంగ్గా ఉంటూ కన్జ్యూమర్స్ని ఓవర్ ఎ పీరియడ్ ఆఫ్ టైం బిల్డ్ చేసుకోవాలి. మన క్వాలిటీ స్టాండర్డ్స్ మెయింటైన్ చేస్తూ, ప్రైస్ పాయింట్స్లో ఎఫిషియెంట్గా ఉంటూ, కస్టమర్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ ఈ రోజుల్లో చాలా బిగ్ టైం. అది ఏ రకంగా మన ప్రోడక్ట్ ఉంటే, ఏ రకంగా మన సర్వీస్ ఉంటే కస్టమర్స్ మనల్ని ఆదరిస్తారు అని తెలుసుకోవటం చిన్న వ్యాపారానికైనా పెద్ద వ్యాపారానికైనా చాలా ముఖ్యమైన విషయం. సో ఈ రకంగా ఎన్నో విషయాలు, ఇప్పుడు లేడీస్ అన్న తర్వాత వాళ్ళకి ఫ్యామిలీని చూసుకోవాలి, అట్లానే వాళ్ళకి బలమైన కోరికలు ఉంటాయి, ఆర్థికంగా కూడా ఎదగాలని, ఆర్థికంగా స్వతంత్రంగా నిలబడాలని. సో ఒక పోరాటమే, ఏది కూడా మామూలుగా అవ్వదు, ఏదో కేక్ వాక్ కాదు ఏది కూడా. సో మన లైఫ్ టైం గోల్స్ స్ట్రాంగ్గా ఉన్నప్పుడు, ఎట్టి పరిస్థితుల్లోనూ నేను ఇవన్నీ సాధించాలి అని అనుకున్నప్పుడు ఎప్పుడు మెత్తగా ఉండాలో అప్పుడు మెత్తగా ఉంటూ, ఎప్పుడు గట్టిగా ఉండాలో, ఏ విషయంలో గట్టిగా ఉండాలో అటువంటి విషయాల్లో గట్టిగా ఉంటూ, నిర్మాణాత్మకంగా ప్రతిరోజు కూడా, ఎందుకంటే టైమ్ ఇస్ వాల్యుబుల్, టైమ్ ఇస్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్. సో ప్రతి నిమిషం కూడా మనము అటు కుటుంబంతో గడపాల్సిన సమయంలో వాళ్ళకి న్యాయం చేస్తూ, ఇటు సంస్థ పరంగా ఉద్యోగులకు కానీ కన్జ్యూమర్స్కి కానీ మనం రోజు కూడా డెవలప్మెంట్ ఓరియంటెడ్గా పనిచేసుకున్నప్పుడే దినదినాభివృద్ధి జరుగుతుంది అని నేను చెప్పడం జరిగింది గారు. అండ్ థ్యాంక్ యూ Hysea. So almost the introduction speaks of what I have achieved and what I do, and also as it's a leadership development program, I thought I should tell a lot about many leaders and just intersperse it with my own achievements here and there. So democratic countries where human rights are respected and where women are able to reach top positions in society and are the countries that are really equipped to handle crisis of COVID-19, said Norwegian Prime Minister, she's a woman, Erna Solberg. And New Zealand Prime Minister, as you know, she's a woman too, Jacinda Ardern, vanquished the first and second waves by implementing strict lockdowns and quarantines. And you have the Taiwan president, who is a woman, with her vigorous contact tracing programs from January. An island of 23 million people just had 10 deaths so far. So all women, excellence, So from building smartphones to developing software, flying space, and challenging the depths of the ocean, women in the 21st century of digital world have successfully risen above every cliche, not only in the field of technology and science, but in every walk of life. Nothing is difficult. It's all in the mind. And no task is gender specific. Okay? Many people ask me, how did you do it as a woman? What is this as a woman? You ask me, how did you do it? It makes sense. But what is this? How did you do it as a woman? I never thought I'm just a woman. Okay? I think that I am a human being who's capable of doing things. Okay? So, a recent study by NASSCOM finds that India tops in the list of higher percentage of women in tech. 35% are women, while it is 17% in UK and 20% in USA. And if you look at the people in C-suite roles, that is the CFOs, CEOs, COOs, in India, it's a 4.5% higher proportion of women in these roles than men compared to the world percentages. Okay, so we're doing great in India. It's going to be our century, and it's going to be the women's century going ahead. So just to name a few, couple of them, probably you were asking for a lot of, leaders, mentors, So Geeta Kannan is one of them, who's the founder and CEO. Some of you must be aware, of Equity for Women and Technology. Probably you can reach out to her. And Herman Mehta, who's the Global Chief Information Officer and Head of Digital, Bharti Airtel, Head of Digital, being a woman for such a big company. And she's been recognized as the top 10 women in technology and telecom industry across the globe. Get her to speak to you. Okay? She has worked more than 30 countries across the globe. So, if we are always willing to learn and transform, there is nothing that we cannot achieve. Learn and transform, as Barnigaru was saying. Learning is not enough. You have to transform yourself, how you apply. Technology is all about application-based, isn't it? So all your learning, all your knowledge also has to be application-based. So there are no barriers or ceilings bigger than our own beliefs. Okay? So you believe in yourself, you believe in seeing that you can accomplish, and you work towards it, and success is yours. So these are exciting times, and the power of technology to be a leveler is already proven, right? So when it comes to female leadership and empowerment, modern day icons like Kamala Harris, Michelle Obama, or may it be Malala, so many come quick to our minds. But fortunately, there are more female leaders, from trailblazing politicians to dedicated activists. If you look at Merkel, garnered the full spotlight when, despite strong opposition, she opened Germany's doors to migrants during the Syrian refugee crisis. What courage! What courage! So you need to have courage to do things, to be a successor. Janet Yellen is an award-winning economist and the first woman to head the Federal Reserve of United States. And look at the way US is still doing so good in spite of the pandemic because of her. So don't we all envy her? The whole world envies her position. So if you look at India, State Bank of India being a 200-year-old bank, it has its first woman to head it, Arundhati Bhattacharya, and she's so bent on revolutionizing the bank's male-dominant history with a female focus that she's giving 2 years sabbatical to women to take care of their elders or for their maternity leave. So the change is coming about, yes, not as much as we want it. We all want it much more, isn't it? All women, we all want it much more. That's our inner desire. So one of the most powerful women in the world, ranked 6th by Forbes, is Christine Lagarde. She's a woman of many hats. She is a lawyer, she was a politician, and now all of us know that she's the first woman to head International Monetary Fund. And with the position that she is in, definitely she's very much female focused, trying to do the fund support in order to alleviate poverty and inequality. So the women entrepreneurship is significant from pure economic perspectives, not just the social views. It's estimated that if women participate in economic activity as much as the male participation is, India's GDP will rise by 27%. So just to name a few of the early women who came into economic activity, all of you must have heard of Byte, who founded this organization called Self-Employed Women Association. She was the first one to do it, and she empowered a lot of rural women with her organization, which is why she has been awarded Padma Bhushan and Raman Magsaysay Award for her exceptional contribution in the field of microfinance and labor. Women have known to be skilled multitaskers. All of you here are taking care of gazillion chores at home and handling the varied agendas at work. I know that you've been donning and doffing multi-hued hats with flair. Indian women are now finally being acknowledged, appreciated, and admired for their new role of entrepreneurship. Definitely all of us, the first one to remember is Kiran Majumdar, isn't it, in the biotech industry. And if we have Vani Kola, who is the founder of Kalari Capital, the first early stage venture capital firm. Here, I'd like to say a few things that you definitely have to bear in mind. Have goals so big that in comparison, your problems pale. You all understand? Yeah? And successful people know what they want, okay? So you got to know what you want, okay? And focus on achieving it. So that clarity of your goal and what you want has to be very, very clear. Do not let the storms of your life distract you from dreaming, okay? When you are clear on your dream, that's when the beginning of the journey. Okay, so as Barney Garu was talking, I come from a family of 2 girls where my father is an entrepreneur. He left his veterinary job and started his poultry business, a hatcheries business. So I was raised in a small town called Chittoor. Most of you may know it. It's very close to Tirupati. And I always thought, since my dad didn't have sons, that I'm going to take over his business. Okay? So that was the thought process, and I was preparing myself for it. And that's how I went and did my MBA in Coimbatore PSG College of Tech. And there suddenly comes this proposal, which is too good not to refuse, you know. So from a very well-established family, very well-known family, a good family, and a good boy. So no parents want to refuse a good proposal for their daughter. So that's how I got married and I came to Hyderabad. Otherwise, I was never going to leave Chittoor and never going to leave my father's business. Okay, so he's my first inspiration. You know, I always saw him work hard. I saw my mother work